When we got married, I'd had horrible pains. It took 4 years for the doctors to figure out what the pain was, which was a fibroid. And so I had the surgery to have the fibroid removed at UMC. And our experience there was so wonderful that we always just knew if and when we could have children, we would deliver at UMC.
So after Betsy's surgery, we met with the fertility doctor. Essentially, we went through 2 rounds of insemination, 1 round of in vitro. None of it worked. In between one of those, we had a second miscarriage. And so we kind of, essentially, we gave up on having one on our own.
When it didn't work, that's when we decided we were going to go for adoption.
And about a year later, we got lined up for an adoption.
I was at home packing our bag to go pick up
We
this
bought
baby.
plane tickets.
And Jeffrey, we had a hotel. Jeffrey walks in and his face I thought, first of all, something had happened to the mother of the baby, and he just said, she changed her mind. It was another loss. It was, okay, one more time that our family doesn't get to become a family, and so it was really hard. And I think it was easier for me to handle because I'd had the miscarriages, and when you go through all the IUI and the IVF, it's the woman's body going through all this. So I had a lot of guilt associated with not having those work, and so when the adoption fell through, it was easier on me. But to see Jeffrey, it totally crushed him, and that was the hardest part. It was because he had been so strong through all of it. And so that was kind of the breaking point. And so that was really heartbreaking.
But then 2 weeks later, Betsy comes to me and says, I think I need to take a pregnancy test. All the previous ultrasounds we've ever seen were on such a microscopic level. You see just this little tiny speck. And so 12 weeks we go to a high-risk doctor. They do the ultrasound, and there's a baby. And we've never seen a baby.
I think when I told the ultrasound tech, I'm sure she was like, what is wrong with this lady? Because oh my gosh, there's a baby in there. It was just so real at that time. I thought, oh my, there's arms and there's legs and oh my goodness.
And there's a heartbeat.
My due date was June 15th. On May 1st, that evening, we're getting ready for bed. I said, Jeffrey, my water broke.
Yeah.
And he said, are you sure? Like, he's almost half asleep. Like, are you sure?
It's like, do I really have to get out of bed?
And so then, they tell you to pack your bag and have everything ready.
There's no backpack.
Jeffrey got dressed. We went out the door to UMC. May 2nd at 12:25, Dr. Burley said, you're going to feel a little tug. And then all of a sudden, there's Lily.
And she was screaming.
Yeah, the whole NICU team is standing around, and one of the nurses took Jeffrey's phone, and so we have pictures. And my favorite picture is the whole NICU team is around Lily, and they have the little thing for the oxygen, and she's just so.
I felt bad because, they finish up with Betsy, sew her up and put her in her room, and then they come around and say, you want to go see your daughter? And selfishly, yes. And then you kind of look over at your wife and think, well, she's kind of out of it anyways. So she'll never know if I'm here or not. So go downstairs, and I'll never forget just...
in her little incubator.
Yeah, she was in her little incubator, and I remember a nurse came around, and she said, you can, touch her hand or something, because I'm just standing there. Like, oh my gosh. I can't believe we had a child, period. That everything's looking just absolutely wonderful. God.
Just holding her for the first time. Just that moment erased all the 6 years before, all the pain and the heartache and all. It was gone for me. It was totally gone. We breastfed at first, and that she took, and it was no problem. The lactation specialists were so wonderful and so calm. Sorry. And as a new mom, when you go through that, like, there's so much pressure on, like, you're the mom, you're providing the food, and they're so calm and so reassuring and so helpful. The lactation nurses, it was wonderful.
The nurses were really good. If since I was at work, I could call up there anytime. They said, call up here if you just want to check and see how everything's going. And so it was really nice because I could call up there, and I gave them a heads up. Betsy's birthday happened to be around the same time, so I call up there. Betsy's birthday's going to happen. We got to decorate our little area, and the nurses put together these little birthday cards with Lily's feet print. So I mean, the staff goes above and beyond
above and beyond,
like literally beyond that, of not only taking care of the baby but taking care of the parents.
Yes. So now having Lily as a 10-month-old and chasing her around the house and picking up things that you think, oh no, don't put that in your mouth. I just think back to being in the hospital with her, and her just snuggling with her in my shirt, just being so tiny, and so all these tubes and all of that. And I think you probably will never understand what an amazing blessing you are. UMC took an experience that could have been miserable and made it a joyful experience.
And I don't know how you do that or how you train that into people, but golly, they are fantastic. They really are.
When you come in as a patient, you feel that. You feel that you're walking into a family who's going to take care of you.
We always talk about Lily being our miracle baby, and it is funny because it's like we realize every birth is a miracle. But then it's one of those, Lily wasn't supposed to happen, period. So she truly is our miracle.